Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your dude, your rebel, your guy, substance level, King Sergeant, aka 1192. Saying what's up. We're almost done wrapping up the season here. So we got episode 498. And I want to say again, thank you guys for another great 10 years on the last video. I do want to go off on this one. So I want to kind of describe how it all started. Now, I think I probably done it before in another video, but to kind of go up with it, with the name itself, Dude at level 92, and there's level 92. Dude level is more the bride. That's more the brand, and then level 92 is just me, right? So you can go either way, however you want to put it. So when I first thought of doing the content creating, it never really reached my attention, but I did, however, manage to go through like a lot of emulators, and then I played all these classic games like NES, or Super Nintendo, Sega Master, N64, stuff like that. And going forward, it was really cool because I had a laptop at the time. Don't work anymore, but I used to just play on there. And I remember me and a friend used to go to the libraries to do that. And so going off on that, that's what kind of hit me. I was like, man, I really like these old games. It was just a thing. So when I went to work, me and some coworkers, we were talking about all these games that we grew up with and blah, blah, blah. And so one of my coworkers at the time, shout out to Mr. Dan on here, he gave me, or he told me that he had a Super Nintendo game, a Dreamcast, and an N64. I was like, oh my gosh, sure, I'll take it out of hand. I bought it for cheap. I could have paid more for it, but you know, I guess we worked out a deal. We negotiated a little bit, so I bought it for really, really cheap. And I remember when I had the C4, it was WWF Warzone. I think it wasn't WCW. I think it was that. It was South Park. There was Zelda, and there was like some other games. And then the Dreamcast had it had Crazy Taxi, NBA, WWE Attitude. And I thought it could have sworn it was like another one, maybe. But and then the Super Nintendo game was Killer Instinct. And so at that point, I was like, oh my God, it was so cool. So I cleaned them up. They both work. And then I remember going to, I think it was V-Stock. Because I think before I started really testing out the games, I think this was way before I started doing video making. I want to say it is. But I remember when I first did the videos, my very first one was the Superboy. It was a handheld Super Nintendo. That's when I kind of figured, okay, it was cool. I thought it was fake because I remember seeing this online a long time ago, and I'm like, the way it looked, I was like, okay, it was just a joke. But I go to the mall, and I see that up close. I'm like, oh my God, bang, bang, bang. Where's my bag? Hang on a minute. Which still to this day, I haven't played it as much, but I still treasure it because it's one of my firstborn children's. And over time, I kind of think to myself, man, if I didn't have it now, you know, this is basically the start. This here is the start of my indigenous like content creating. And I think it still works. I probably need to charge it though, but oh, it still works. Okay. So being able to look at this and think, wow, this is so cool. And then I had to charge it. I bought it the day, and then I remember the next day I had to charge it, so I was like, why not? I go home, I get the game, I put it in here, and then bam, the screen kicks on, Killer Instinct. I'm just playing. I'm like, whew, boy. That was the whole entire start. And being able to look back at that, 2014, and this was like January. No, it was February. So when I first did the videos, that was when I started to like really think, okay, I want to see how this works. So I go to work in the morning and I come back home. It's like way early in the morning. I think my mom was at work at the time. It was Christmas break. But I remember setting up my phone on the tray, and it was kind of like at an angle. And before I came up with the whole catchphrase, I did like a whole just thing about it. And that was kind of like the start. KeeKlip #1. And KeeKlip at the time, I never really had a name for it. It was just a video, and I put it on Facebook first. So from that point on, a lot of people, I put it on there, and then a lot of people kept commenting on it and everything else, and that was kind of like, wow, okay, this is gonna be a good start. And then the second time, I remember I had the YouTube channel, I didn't really do anything with it. So when I started to do the second video, which was the Star Fox, I remember bought that online, and that was kind of the thing. And then the third one, I believe, or fifth was emulator. It's one of the two. Um, but yeah, I was kind of just really wrapped around my head that, okay, all these games that I played. And here's another thing. I never played Star Fox on Super Nintendo. I played the 64 when I had Smash because they had the little demos. But like, man, it took me a while to find these games, but I'm very familiar with it. So from that point on, doing videos right when I got off work, and this was like early in the morning. That was kind of like the whole beginning of the level 92 start. And that's how I came to the attention of saying, okay, let me do this video. Then I do this, then I do this. And some of these were just one take because I didn't like press stop and then I turn the camera around or whatever and then press again. It was all just one shot. That was the start. That was just me. Everyone starts somewhere. And I still do it now. So it's whatever. But kind of going into it, like, being able to really explore more with the games. And this is when I started, I remember did Amazon a lot more, and then started going out to other places because the Goodwills came in effect to a little bit later. And what's funny, because I know I kept talking about this a while back, when it came to me going to my first Goodwill, I had to go take my old car to get like a either fluid change or something. And so I go to Goodwill right up the street. I bought a Game Boy, SSS Tricky, which will be very, very soon, and a KeeKlip later. I think it was like one more. It had two games on the Game Boy. It was a it was SSS Tricky on the Game Boy, Proving Ground, or no, Project 8 on the PS2, and then the Game Boy Advance. So all that for like a few bucks. I was like, wow. And so from that point, I wasn't gonna put that in just yet, but I knew that it was gonna be a great start. And then I bought the NES baseball game, which I think I did do. I'll probably do it again if I haven't. But either way, that was all the start. 2014 was the start, and then going forward, I was like, okay, I'll go to this Goodwill on Tuesday. That's where my grandparents live around. So I started going there, and then I started learning more Goodwills, and then I remember going to Slackers to buy some Dreamcast controllers, and then I think I went to V-Stock at the time to get the N64 controllers, and so forth. I started doing the N64 games. I did the Dreamcast. So on and on and on. I was just kind of like tying my stuff together and being able to go to Slackers a lot. I went to V-Stock at times. That was kind of like just the whole started me with the collection, and then from that point on, it was just games at first. And later down the line, when I went to learn about events, my first one being Pixel Pop, and I was at Webster University. That was my first video outside the public, and I was thinking like, wow, it was really cool. And then I started doing the toy show a few months later. So I started doing all these other events and everything else, and that's what kind of just really just expanded more to the channel and just to my whole thing. And going over that for that whole year, and the first con was my anime, at the time it was Anime Getaway, but then they changed to Anime Senpai, but that's done now, so I'll never give credit for that later. But like, it just kind of just happened to me where, oh my God, this is actually a great year for me. This was now the start of the level 92 era. And from that point on, I kept in touch with people. I kept in touch with cosplayers, people that do gaming, people that do just whatever. And I'm like, yes, cool. And from that point, even like the Goodwills, I remember just going to the first three Goodwills. The two was at my house, one was at my grandparents, and then on that, I started going out to other areas to Goodwills and all these other thrift stores. And that's what really grew my collection. And permit me, the room is a mess, but like stuff like, see back here, all this, Goodwills, thrift stores, whatever, those makers are from my house. Those are the ones I bought at the stores, and then these a friend of mine gave me. But like all these things here, it's like wow. Again, it's a bit of a mess, but I don't care. All these things here has just been years and years of collecting, and I'm very just proud to really own all these and to really find these at like specific areas. It's just kind of like, man. So it's just really cool to really expand that and to kind of really see how far I'm willing to go to actually collect these things. And knowing that I like to keep it historically nostalgic to me because I knew how I grew up. I knew the times I had were definitely great and it was just so fun to have. So that was another part of it. Keeping stuff nostalgic, but like being able to adapt, maybe, but like it's just, man, I like to do what I like to do. And that is how I kind of just go forth and say, listen, I keep it throwback. I can still adapt to modern times, that's the case. But I like to keep in touch of what I grew up with. That's just me. So going forward, I'm still going to keep it nostalgic. I'm still going to find a lot more that I have never had. Because I got a lot of more handhelds. I got a lot more tapes. There's going to be a lot more, toys, action figures, stuff. Like, even the clothing, sometimes. Clothing, I just go for the trend. But, like, everything else, it's all about trend. It's all about just history. It's all about just the love for all that I grew up with. And again, I thank all these guys just for, making the channel great. I thank them all for, recommending me to people and then being able to go from that for all these years and then moving out in 2017 to make it bigger and then so forth, like everything. So again, I thank all you guys just for, keeping the history and y'all understand me for what I do and knowing, hey, this is going to be great. And I am definitely thankful just to really see a lot of this kind of come together and it's really keeping my history intact. And sooner or later, some things will change. Then some things might be different, but we're going to keep rocking. Okay. Cause I got y'all, y'all got me. Let's do it. So I want to just give a little brief history about how the whole 92 was a thing and then how I kind of really grew from that and then so forth. So, yeah. Love you guys, definitely. So, like always, thank you for watching this video. Up next is going to be $4.99, and then we get the big 500 coming up. So, like always, like, comment, subscribe, share, and everything else in between. Thank you all for subscribing to my channels over the years and everything else. And also, hit me up on Facebook, Ken Sargent, or every other social media, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. You know what it is. Also, Kicking with Keenan. Till next time, stay tuned for $4.99. And I'll see you when I see y'all. Peace. Stay awesome.